Yeah, buddy, what is up? Welcome to Duct Tape Dynasty. I am indeed the Duct Tape Dude.
I'm the dude.
And we're back, man. We missed a week. I'm sorry about that. I actually ended up getting a little sick last week, so we missed last week, but we're back this week. We're excited to be here, or at least I am, I guess. So anyway, before we get started, do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. In fact, you know what? Big news. We finally hit the 300 sub mark, which has released the Wolves or the whatever, the prize pack for this giveaway, which will happen now this season. It's a Marv Fleming signed. He is a Super Bowl I champion, and this is his jersey, signed, JSA authenticated. Here it is as proof. There's his signature. There's the JSA authentication stuff. So, yeah, we are alive. Well, sorry, I'm turning down the sound on this thing. There we go. So yeah, we have hit the 300 sub mark. Dan finally brought us over the hump there and got us to where we're going to be able to give that jersey away this year. Last year we were waiting for the 300 sub mark, never made it, and so we kept it. So anyway, but yeah, do us a favor and tell your friends, hit that like button, all that good stuff. And keep them coming. So hopefully you have a good time with us. We have a good time doing this show. And anyway, this is actually usually the part of the show where I say, you hear me say we, but you only see me. And then I bring on my co-hosts. But I'm all you got tonight. So sorry about it. I would say all my would-be co-hosts bailed, but they're actually, you know what? They're my should-be co-hosts, and they bailed. So what we're going to do tonight is something a little bit different than what we usually do. And the goal of this entire show is going to be to tick off my my should-be co-hosts. And yeah, we'll see as we go along. Like I said, they should be on here with me, but they're not because they're all lame. Maybe it's because we all had such an abysmal week last week. So I'm going to start off right off the bat. And good, I see him in the comments. There he is, the Agman, because this one is for you, Agman. If you don't believe me that the goal of this show is going to be to tick off my co-hosts, my should-be co-hosts, not my would-be co-hosts, this will prove that I'm true to it, because this is sacrilege. I tell you what, I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm gonna. We're not a college football show, but I'm going to breach that contract for a little bit and show you a college uniform that I came across this week that I think is actually pretty awesome. Now the problem is, it's the team that is the rivals to my beloved alma mater, the Bobcats. But like I said, the purpose of this show is going to be to tick off my should-be co-host. So I'm going to show it. So here you go. My rival as a alumni of Montana State is the University of Montana Grizzlies. And they released a new uniform, a specialty uniform, that I think is actually pretty sweet. Now, they're one of the teams that, as they do throwbacks, they're blessed with a terrible color palette from the past. Yellows and kind of a brown, a burnt orange, red, brown, maroon. I don't know. But anyway, they kind of went outside the box with this, and they threw out an alternate uniform idea that I actually think is kind of cool. So here you go. This is the University of Montana, their specialty helmet that they will be wearing. I don't know if it's this week, next week, when it's going to be, if it's going to be for Cat Grizz or what, but I'll at least throw that sound clip in there to save some face on this. But anyway, they're going with a cartoon-esque, a Tom and Jerry kind of looking grizzly bear there. This gives you the color palette idea. I mean, it's a burnt orange, I don't know, maroon. It's a gross color palette. It's yellow and nasty. But like I said, I think it's kind of a cool, I guess you could call it a throwback. They're throwing back to their old colors, but anyway. So there you go, Agman. You should be on the show with me. So I'm showing Montana Grizzly uniforms. So there you go. That's the save face, though. At least I'm going to do that. So, all right. Well, let's get to. So last week, like I said, we didn't have a show, and that was my fault because, you know, I have to work midnights every once in a while, and I had worked 4 straight weeks of midnights, and man, I tried to stay up, and I was getting physically ill from trying to stay up for the show on Thursday. So I just couldn't manage it last week. And so I had to postpone originally, but then cancel the show. But hey, we're back, whatever. So there was no honor roll last week because for one, the NFL was absolutely abysmal last week. So, I mean, I don't know what happened, but everything went off the rails. It was complete chaos in the NFL, and we'll see if the picks reflect it this week. But man, I don't know what happened. But it was such an abysmal week that I was like, screw this. And I didn't even do an honor roll. Actually, I forgot about it. So, but I made one up. So here we go. First up on the honor roll nominee list, Matthew Stafford. Once again, he was there last time we had a show. 30 of 47, 389 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 111 on the rating scales. So pretty sweet roll there. And Mr. Matthew Stafford, you are on a roll. And second up is Sam Darnold, the former used to be a Viking. No longer. He is with the Seattle Seahawks. And I think it was in a losing effort. But 28 of 34, 341 yards, 4 passing touchdowns. That was pretty impressive. A 135.4 rating for Mr. Sam Darnold, who is absolutely on a roll. And this one is for you, Dano. I put this special in there. Like I said, I'm here to tick off all my should-be co-hosts. So Baker Mayfield, absolutely on a roll. 29 of 33, 379 yards, only 2 tutties, but 134.7 rating. I'm just going to leave that one up there for you, Dano. This is my vote. He gets my vote. But actually, that's a sweet uniform. As you guys know, I'm into the whole uniforms, and so I love this Nike rivalry uniform thing. I know this isn't one of the rivalry uniforms, but when the teams do the throwbacks or a variation therein, which this is a throwback with some kind of variations, I like it, and so that's why I even showed the Grizzlies, my alma mater's arch nemesis. I like uniforms and all the graphics. We've talked about that about 1 million times. So I think this uniform is absolutely awesome. Like I said, not a Nike Rivals uniform, but I think when they do a throwback to, I think if they went back to it all time, like as their regular uniform, I think it would get old pretty quick. But as a throwback, dude, I'm all for it. Let's wear it, 5 times a year. I'm game. So anyway, Mr. Baker Mayfield, as always, and just because Dan loves you, you made our honor roll. So, and then Mac Jones, because I don't know, I looked at the receiver stats, and there were some good receiver stats, but unfortunately, it was only like 1 tutty for each one. I mean, there was a lot of yards, but only like 1 tutty, and I like multiple touchdowns. So. Although Mac Jones only threw for 2 touchdowns, he was 33 of 49, 342 yards. Just cracked the 100 rating club with a 100.9, almost a 101 rating. And Mr. Mac Jones, you absolutely were on a roll last week. And so there you go. There's our honor roll nominees for the week. Let me see if I can catch up on some comments here. I do see that we have Katie, who usually says, "Hi, Mom," on the show. And then Agman, a should-be co-host, saying, "Hi, Mom." Let's see. Do I need to set up my rig real quick? Well, that would have been nice, Dano. Would have been nice if you had set it up, as I made my pleas for a co-host this week, and nobody responded. You guys are all losers. So my hope is you guys will either be so mortified by today's show that you will make sure this never happens again, or you'll just all quit. So anyway, one person who did not make this list, who Dan would have liked to have made the list, is probably Mr. Patrick Mahomes. As we know, Dan is a Texas Tech alum, and he is the SecDef of Texas Tech right now. He's doing the ROTC commander thing out there, which is actually pretty cool. But he's a Patrick Mahomes fan because Patrick Mahomes is a product of Texas Tech. Well, Patrick Mahomes didn't make the list, and he's a weenie. So here you go. This one's for Patrick Mahomes and for Dan. Oh, come on. Tell me the sound's up there. Can you guys hear that? Oh, man. I hope that sound's going out. It's Patrick Mahomes whining when he gets touched by anybody on the field. And there's the referees throwing the flag because they always throw the flag with that. I hope you guys can hear that. Tell me if you can, because I can try to play it again. It's hilarious. That little frog he's just screaming like Patrick Mahomes. So anyway, that's what that was. Whatever. Overhyped, overpaid. Yes, Patrick Mahomes, absolutely overhyped, overpaid. Very good, Dan. I know that wasn't for him. But anyway, so let's talk about the week that was. Man, that was a brutal week of NFL football. There were a couple of us that had all right weeks. But overall, it was like, what is absolutely happening out there? It was chaos in the NFL. I mean, you had San Francisco beating the Rams, and San Francisco, like, everybody on the team is hurt except for like one person, but they still managed to get a win. You've got now the Vikings did get the win over the Browns, but it looked like they were going to lose it, man. I mean, it wasn't until the last, I don't know how long, until they got over the hump and actually took that win. Broncos beating Philly. What was that about? And then the Saints winning. Are you kidding me? Spencer Rattler gets his 10th start and his first win. Should never have happened. And actually, then you got Carolina taking the win as well. Granted, Miami's nothing special this year. But Carolina and that Bryce Young experiment just has not worked. And so, well, whatever. They got a win. I guess everybody gets a win eventually. So, Baker Mayfield, there you go, Dano, getting it done against Seattle. So, and then who was that? Was that Atlanta? I can't. Oh, Tennessee. That's right, Tennessee. They got a gimme win with a dropped football just prior to the goal line. That was phenomenal. So Cam Ward got his first win of the season. It was a pathetic way to win, but nonetheless, it's a win. So, and then Washington, beat my Chargers. That was probably a 50-50 game. But the New England Patriots beating Buffalo at home in those sick uniforms, man. Agman, you know, the Buffalo Bills wore their winter whiteout or whatever that was called. That was a sick uniform. And I actually had, for last week's show, I had some videos. It was their hype video. Probably would have got a copyright strike, but I was going to show their hype video for their new uniforms that they unveiled, or their alternate whatever uniforms that they unveiled last week. But the uniforms weren't enough to take them over the top. They still got a L at home against a lackluster New England Patriots team. So, and then Kansas City couldn't get it done in Duval, and so old Trevor Lawrence managed to get a win. What is Kansas City doing? Ever since the engagement, we don't know who they are anymore. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is, but here's the way it shook up amongst us. It doesn't look so bad when you talk the top three there, 8-6, 8-6, 7-7. So that was old Robbie, the pink shirt queen, the flyer queen. Then you got Carissa there, 8-6, and the Agman himself at a even 500, 7-7. Then we start going the wrong way. Dan, as expected, a losing record, 6-8. But look at that. Myself, Dave, and Blake, all at 5-9. The freaking lean could barely even keep up with Dan this week at 6-8. Just an absolute abysmal week. So what did that do to our season standings? It wasn't enough to dethrone me from the top, but boy, it let everybody catch up quite a bit. So I still managed to somehow be 2 games out front, 52-25. Then you got Robbie there and the Agman on the podium at 50-27. Followed shortly behind by Blake and Carissa, 49-28. That's a 64% win-loss, win average, whatever. Dave, 46-31, and Dan, I don't know what you're doing. I guess you're just making it dramatic. Let's be honest. You're just making it dramatic. So for the late season push, so everybody could be impressed when you win the league, right? I suppose that's what you would say if you were co-hosting with me, but you're not, because you're a should-be co-host. Anyway, no, I'm not actually upset, but it is a little weird to hear just myself in my headphones. Again, I shouldn't double tap like that. We know what happened to Dan last time he did that. So he did the old Kamala hang up on himself. So anyway, us as a as a league, as a whatever, if you will, we are definitely headed the wrong way. Look at that. At least we're all going down together. You know, it's like the Titanic there. Jeez. Not looking good, not something that I'm very proud to show. So maybe that's the reason nobody wanted to get on the show with me today, is because we just were so pathetic that no, anyway. So whatever. That was the week that was. It was not kind to us. This week's got to be better, right? I hope so. So let's look at it. We've got good slate of games this week. Not too many that we're really, really split on, but yeah, a good slate of games that we should be able to mount a pretty good comeback and maybe get those stats headed the right way again. You know, let's start headed up. So anyway, tonight, you know, it's the Philly, and well, as you saw with the thumbnail there, it's the Philly, New York, you know, old Saquon running out of New York, going to Philly. It should be, I mean, come on now, right? That's an easy one again, but last week that happens, you know, every once in a while every NFL season, there we go. We have at least 1 week where it's just like, what in the world is going on? And so the real test is to see, you know, who kind of stays strong, you know, who stays in the line, who holds the line, and then who reacts to the bad week. And so I don't know how many of these are reactions. It looks like we all kind of stayed with stayed true to what we thought before the abysmal week we had last week. But yes, Agman, I absolutely went with the Bengals, and I'll tell you why here in a bit. But Broncos over there in London with the Jets, that should be, well, they don't have old high knees Russ Wilson on the plane with them this time, so they should be able to get some good sleep on their way over there. So playing against the New York Jets should get it done. A pretty bad team anyway. Indy at home against Arizona, yeah, come on. Those are straightforward. Where's some that we have some splits on? So, okay, Seattle and Jacksonville. So here's one where it's like, are we doing the reactionary? Okay, Jacksonville got a win, and so you see we're leaning towards Jacksonville. It's a pretty close split, 4-3 there, but with 7 pickers, we're always leaning one way or the other. Thus the lean. Well, we're all leaning. Well, we as a league, as a show, are leaning towards Jacksonville. I don't know, man. Sam Darnold, you saw his stats on the on a roll there. What did he have last week? So I think it was in a losing effort. 28-34, 341 yards, 4 passing TDs, and a 135.4 rating. Sam Darnold, you know, he's slinging the old pigskin around pretty well out there. And actually, there you go, Agman. You said it. Joe Flacco beat the Packers with the Browns. It was a lucky game, but old Joey Footsteps, that's exactly why I went with the Bengals, man. I'm like, it's just old Footsteps there. That's the only reason I went with it. I'm like, that guy is like, in terms of, is there any older quarterback in the NFL right now? I mean, maybe, was he around before Rodgers? See, this is where I need you. But, you know, he's one of the oldest quarterbacks out there, and it's like the guy has seen every team, and he just beat Green Bay, so he's got their number. So, you know, he basically gets a redo, if you will. And he's got some good passing options there for him, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope I'm right. Probably going to be wrong, but whatever. So anyway, back to Seattle and Jacksonville. I don't know if we're leaning towards Jacksonville because of the Jacksonville win or just because it's kind of a 50-50 game anyway. We all went for the Chargers. Nobody took the Miami Dolphins, drank the Miami Dolphins Kool-Aid, if you will. Rodgers is older, drafted 2005. Okay. So, but old Joey Footsteps is out there. He's an old head out there. So, so yeah, the Chargers, hopefully they should get it done against Miami. But the next one, here's another one. Is this reactionary? Now we're leaning towards the Cowboys, but we've got, is that two of us? No, that's three of us. Three of us are there with the Carolina Panthers. Mind you, I mean, how many wins have they had in the last 3 years? Not many at all. So is this a product of, they won last week, so now everybody's going to jump ship and all of a sudden think they're good? I don't know. Dano's out there. Looks like he's with Riz and old Robbie. Ooh, you're with Robbie, man. That's some tough company. Anytime you see yourself out on the flyer list with Robbie, granted, that's not a flyer. This is a pretty good split. A flyer's a 1 or 2 picker. So in other words, well, as an example, the Tennessee game down there where you see Robbie's check mark next to Tennessee, everybody else going with the right play with the Raiders, that would be a flyer. So Robbie is flying with the with the Titans. I don't know, man. I'm not drinking that Cam Ward Kool-Aid, but who knows? Robbie did have a good week last week. Hey, Dano, what's up? I see you out there, Faithletic, the podcast. Yeah, careful getting on the Cowboys bandwagon. I don't know if I'm so much on the Cowboys bandwagon or just still back to the Carolina sucks wagon, So if Dallas was at home, I probably would have picked Carolina because that would have been the classic. Dallas should win this game. This should be an easy one. So they sit on their hands and they lose the game. But it's in Carolina. So, and I know that's totally backwards thinking, but that's the Cowboys. Right? Tell me I'm wrong, Dano. And I'm talking Faithletic Dano there. I know Lieutenant Dan Hall. Anyway, you get it. They're both called Dan, their parents named them the same thing. Sorry about it. So Tennessee, I don't know why Robbie's going with Cam Ward, but he's there all by his lonesome with Tennessee. And that's why I again say, with that Carolina pick there, Dano, I'm not so sure I'd be too confident rolling with Robbie. Granted, you got Riz alongside you. She had a good week as well. They both had a good week last week, but it is what it is. Everyone thinks they're good. Yeah, well, every time everyone thinks they're good, the real Cowboys show up. Yeah, it's like the Eminem song, Will the Real Cowboys Please Stand Up? Yeah, the Cowboys, okay, yeah, Coach. That's what I should call you. Old Coach Dano instead of Lieutenant Dano. So anyway, Dan, our Lieutenant Dan out there on a solo flyer with San Francisco. Is that, Dan, explain yourself. Is this just the Baker Mayfield I hate him factor? Or is there an actual reason why you went solo with San Francisco when, everything points to Tampa Bay should win? But then again, I'm out there as the only guy with the Bengals going up against Green Bay in Green Bay. But, yeah, I mean, you got my rationale for it. I said, old Joey Footsteps, you already beat him once. So why not? I had to take a flyer somewhere. So anyway, Sunday Night Football, a good one there. Now, that's technically a flyer pick down there with Robbie and Dave both going Kansas City. The rest of us sticking with Detroit. Dan says mostly because Mayfield is trash. Yeah, well, I thought so. I thought that's why you picked against them. Whatever. But anyway, yeah, so Sunday Night Football, I'm excited for that game. Actually, the cool thing is I've got Monday off, so I'm going to be able to stay up and watch it. I should. But Kansas City there is only has 2 check marks next to it. So by our standards, that counts as a flyer pick, although it's weird to say Kansas City being picked is a flyer anytime. But, I mean, that's just who they've been lately. But what are they now? I mean, geez. Yeah, Faithletic Coach Dan, not a Baker Mayfield fan as well. Not at all. He's a Cowboys fan, NCAA and NFL. So the Oklahoma State Cowboys in the NCAA, of which they're abysmal this year, and then the Dallas Cowboys, of which until Jerry's gone, I don't know, man. It's rough. But okay, so back to the Detroit Kansas City game. Kansas City picked technically as a flyer there, but I don't know. That game could really go either way. Monday Night Football, kind of a couple duds, it looks like. You know, I mean, anytime the Bills are on TV, it's good. You know, that they're a great team to fun watch, but they're playing the Falcons, who just aren't really much of anything. And then you've got the Bears and the Commanders, same sort of thing, but Jaden Daniels with the Commanders. That's kind of a fun guy to watch, younger guy. But he's playing Caleb Williams of the Bears, who are just abysmal. And so, yeah, who knows? Those are kind of a couple Monday night duds, but whatever. I'll be watching them. It's NFL football, so. Yeah, so there you go. That's the games of the week, the games to be. We're 20 minutes or so from kickoff. Let's see. So really, the only thing we've got left to do is to name the honor roll champion. And hey, Lieutenant Dan, any guesses out there on who the honor roll champion is on the the honor roll that never went out onto Instagram? Like I said at the beginning of the show, my goal is to tick off my should-be co-hosts, not my would-be co-hosts, because they aren't here. So I guess they're not would-be co-hosts. But I do want to, I was going to call attention to a couple things. One is before I get to the honor roll winner of the week, next week we will not have a show. So I really needed to get on and have a show this week, regardless of not have. I know I'm kidding around about not having a co-host, but we really needed a show because next week, no show. Reason being, the kid is flying in on Thursday, show day, and we're going from the airport to Austin because for the Circuit of the Americas, the Austin. Well, it's really the USA Grand Prix for Formula One. We're going out to watch. So here's old Oscar Piastri, number 81, my boy. Going out to see him and all the others in person. So we'll be driving down to Austin, Texas next week on show day. So I was going to bring the stuff along and try to do a couple shows there. But you know what? This was a gift from the wife for me and the kids. And so I'm just going to say, all right, we're just going. We're going. There'll probably be plenty of videos and whatnot that I send out later. Max Verstappen, which, yeah, by the way, I bought a Max Verstappen helmet as well. So, a few years ago, I bought every NFL helmet out there. And really stupid purchase. Really stupid. They all now sit in the closet that is behind me somewhere. Yeah, really stupid purchase. I bought all the NFL teams, their mini helmets, right? And they're like 30 something bucks a piece. Well, then of course that was before I even started watching F1. And I got into F1 and they make these little helmets. Unfortunately, the NFL little helmets, of which I have 34 of them, I think, and that's not to include the college ones I have. Duh, not NFL, but you get it. Those miniature helmets like that, I've got probably 40, 45 of them. They're like 35 bucks a piece. Well, these little Formula One helmets, of which I just ordered a new Max Verstappen one, they're about 10 times the price of, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, what am I doing? Why am I spending that kind of money? They're cool though. And the cat is the safest the cat's ever been. So, yeah, but Max Verstappen. So we're going to go out there. We're going to see them in person. Lewis Hamilton, the most successful Formula One driver ever. I can't stand the guy, but hey, he is what he is. We're going to be there to see him. Oscar Piastri, my boy, going to hopefully take a bigger lead now that McLaren's got the constructors in the bag. Hopefully now Piastri could just say, screw you guys, I'm going for it. So anyway, we're going to be out there. Max Verstappen, maybe the greatest driver ever, skill wise. I mean, of course, he's got 4 championships, maybe a 5th on the way, as Andrew's saying. So we're going to see him. I mean, there's just so many amazing Formula One drivers we're going to get to go see in person. So with that, like I said, I thought about bringing all the stuff out and doing some podcasts and whatnot from there, but nope, I'm just going to leave it and go with the boys. We're going to hang in a Airbnb there, pay way too much for parking, and go watch some racing. So it should be awesome. Like I said, hopefully we'll have some good videos and whatnot. when I come back. The other thing I meant to show this at the beginning of the show, and you won't care, but I care. You guys know my signature, look or whatever is I always wear one of these, these scally caps when we're on the show, typically. Now, NCAA shows, like, whatever. On the main Duct Tape Dynasty, I'm pretty much always in one of these. I just got this one, though. This one's awesome. If it looks like a Popeye hat, it's because it literally, it is Popeye's. It's literally Popeye's hat. It has his little anchor in the back and all that stuff. I love these things. So that's the new one. I have 14 of these now. I wear like 3 of them on the show, but I love them, man. They're awesome. Anyway, things that I buy too many of that I don't have a use for. So with that, let's move on to the honor roll winner of the week. And just for you, Dano, Lieutenant Dan, that is. Well, heck, why not for Coach Dan as well? Baker Mayfield is our honor roll champion of the week, just to tick off Lieutenant Dan and stay true to form throughout the show. Typically, our honor roll is posted on Instagram, and y'all get to vote. Out on Instagram, we have a voting thing and whatnot, and really the results that we give here are a result of y'all voting on the poll. But like I said at the beginning of the show, I didn't do one this week. It was just everything was off. So anyway, if you're wondering where to go to get that kind of stuff, here you go. Screenshot this screen right here. Just go back to any one of those QR codes, hold your finger on it, and it'll take you where you need to go. The one with the YouTube logos, the YouTube channel, you're already there. The Instagram one is where you're going to find the Dan, I'm not reading that comment. The Instagram one's where you're going to find the polls. Like I said, they're on Instagram. TikTok's there for entertainment purposes. And the one that's kind of separated down there, Big Sky Country, it says Big Sky under the duck face. That is Agman's Instagram. He has all sorts of content out there, and he's usually another location for the polls when I send it to him, when I'm good about that stuff, which I'm not always the best. But go give him a follow as well. So anyway, so yeah, that's it. That's the show. Anything from the comments before we get out of here? Hey, by the time I see it, I'm already going to be in the credits, so whatever. I would love to just sit here and watch these comments go now. But I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna say heck with it. Let's go watch some football. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's have a week. I hope you all have a great weekend and enjoy some good NFL football. Hopefully some predictable NFL football so our averages can start headed the right way. But regardless, you guys are the absolute best. We love y'all. We thank you so much for watching, just being a part of it. Like I said, we're giving away that jersey at some point this season. So continue to tune in and find out when, where, all that good stuff. But yeah, that's it, man. Let's get the heck out of here. We appreciate y'all. Y'all are the best. See you next time.